Close your eyes for a moment and try to touch tomorrow. Reach out with your hands and grasp next week. Open your mouth and taste next year. You cannot, can you? Because tomorrow doesn't exist. Next week is nowhere to be found. Next year is a phantom, a mirage, a complete and utter illusion. My dear friends, tonight, I'm going to tell you something that will either liberate you completely or disturb you so profoundly that you'll question everything you think you know about time, planning, and hope itself. Tonight, I want to reveal to you one of the most radical truths in all of existence. There is no future. Not the future is uncertain. Not the future is hard to predict. I'm telling you that the future, as you understand it, simply does not exist. It never has existed. It never will exist. It is the greatest illusion ever perpetuated upon the human mind. And this illusion is the source of nearly all human suffering, anxiety, and limitation. The revelation of this truth came to me in the most unexpected way. A woman approached me after a lecture last month, her face etched with worry and desperation. She said, "Neville, I'm terrified about my future. What if I never find love? What if I never have enough money? What if my health fails? What if my children suffer? I can't stop thinking about all the terrible things that might happen." I looked at this tormented soul, and I realized she was suffering from the most common disease of consciousness, future addiction. She was living in a dimension that doesn't exist, worrying about events that haven't happened, fearing possibilities that have no substance, planning for a time that will never come. I said to her, "My dear woman, you are afraid of nothing. You are worried about nowhere. You are planning for never. The future you fear does not exist anywhere except in your imagination. And even there it exists only as a present moment experience of imagining." She stared at me in confusion. "But Neville, surely I need to plan for the future. Surely I need to prepare for what's coming. How can you say there is no future?" "Because," I replied, "there is only now. There has always been only now. There will always be only now. What you call the future is simply now experienced differently. What you call planning for tomorrow is simply now imagining tomorrow. What you call worrying about next year is simply now creating anxiety about imaginary events." This woman was like most of humanity, trapped in the illusion of linear time, believing that somewhere out there in some mystical dimension called the future, events are waiting to happen to her. She didn't realize that she was creating her entire experience of future right now in this eternal present moment. I taught her something that changed her life forever. There is no future to worry about because there is no future to experience. There is only now, and in this now she could choose to experience peace instead of anxiety, love instead of fear, abundance instead of lack. But let me be very clear about what I mean when I say there is no future. I don't mean that change doesn't happen. I don't mean that what you experience tomorrow will be identical to what you experience today. I mean that when tomorrow comes, it won't be the future. It will be now. It will be the eternal present moment experienced with whatever consciousness you bring to it. Think about this carefully. Have you ever experienced the future? Every experience you've ever had happened in the present moment. Every joy, every sorrow, every triumph, every challenge, all occurred in the now. Even your memories of the past are present moment experiences. Even your imaginings of the future are present moment activities. The future is not a place you're going to. The future is not a time you will eventually reach. The future is a present moment, mental activity, the activity of imagining, planning, worrying, or anticipating. And since imagination is a present moment experience, the future exists only in the eternal now. This is why Jesus could say, "Take no thought for tomorrow, for tomorrow will take thought for the things of itself. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof." He wasn't advocating irresponsibility. He was revealing the illusion of tomorrow as a separate dimension of experience. When tomorrow comes, it comes as today. When the future arrives, it arrives as the present. When next year gets here, it gets here as now. There is no escape from the eternal present, no matter how far into the future you project your consciousness. Let me tell you about a man who discovered this truth in the most practical way possible. He came to me consumed with anxiety about his retirement. He said, "Neville, I'm terrified about my future. What if I don't have enough money saved? What if my health fails? What if I can't afford medical care? What if I become a burden to my children? I can't sleep at night thinking about these possibilities." I said to him, "My friend, you are not afraid of retirement. You are afraid of a mental construction that you're calling the future. You are not worried about tomorrow. You are creating anxiety today by imagining unpleasant scenarios and calling them future possibilities." "But these things could really happen," he protested. "Could they happen when?" I asked. "In the future, but there is no future. They could happen now, and if they happen now, you will deal with them now. They could happen in what you call tomorrow. But when tomorrow comes, it will be experienced as now, and you will deal with them in that now." I taught this man a revolutionary approach to planning and preparation. Instead of projecting his consciousness into an imaginary future and creating anxiety about hypothetical scenarios, he learned to plan and prepare in the present moment with present moment awareness. When he felt the urge to worry about future financial security, he would return to the present moment and take present moment action. Saving money now, investing now, learning about finances now. When he felt afraid about future health problems, he would return to the present moment and take care of his health now, exercising now, eating well now, managing stress now. But most importantly, he learned that his primary preparation for any future was the cultivation of present moment consciousness. If he developed the ability to remain peaceful, resourceful, and creative in the present moment, then he would have those same qualities available in whatever present moment he experienced next. The transformation was remarkable. His anxiety dissolved because he stopped trying to live in a dimension that doesn't exist. His effectiveness increased because he focused all his energy on present moment action rather than future worry. His joy returned because he stopped postponing happiness until some imaginary future condition was met. This is the great secret. There is no future to prepare for except by being fully present now. There is no tomorrow to plan for except by living consciously today. There is no next year to worry about except by creating wisely in this eternal moment. But this truth goes much deeper than simply reducing anxiety or improving planning. When you truly understand that there is no future, you realize that all creation happens now. All manifestation occurs in the present moment. All transformation takes place in the eternal here and now. Most people believe they are manifesting for the future. They think their desires will come to them in some tomorrow that doesn't exist. They imagine their good arriving in some next week that never comes. They plan for happiness in some next year that will never be anything other than now. But consciousness creates in the present moment. Imagination manifests now. Assumption becomes experience immediately. Not in some future time, but in the eternal now that is the only time there is. Let me share with you a story that perfectly illustrates this principle. A young woman came to see me who had been trying to manifest her ideal relationship for 3 years. She said, "Neville, I've been visualizing my perfect partner, feeling the love, imagining our life together. But it's been 3 years and he still hasn't shown up. When will my manifestation finally happen?" I said to her, "It has already happened. It's happening right now. Your manifestation doesn't exist in some future time. It exists in the eternal present. When you imagine your perfect relationship, you are experiencing your perfect relationship now. When you feel loved, you are loved now. When you visualize your ideal partner, you are with your ideal partner now." "But I'm still physically alone," she protested. "You are alone in one dimension of now," I replied, "and in relationship in another dimension of now. Both experiences are happening in the present moment. The question is not when your relationship will manifest in some future. The question is which dimension of now you choose to inhabit most of the time." I taught this woman that she was not waiting for love to come to her in the future. She was choosing between different present moment experiences of consciousness. She could experience the now of loneliness or the now of love. She could inhabit the now of lack or the now of fulfillment. She could live in the now of waiting or the now of having. When she truly understood that there is no future, something magical happened. She stopped waiting for love and started being love. She stopped anticipating relationship and started experiencing relationship in her imagination with such reality that it became more compelling than her physical solitude. Within 6 months, she met a man who perfectly matched the consciousness of love she had been cultivating in the eternal now. Not because her manifestation had finally come from some future dimension, but because she had learned to live so consistently in the now of fulfilled love that physical reality naturally reflected her inner experience. This is the secret of instant manifestation. When you realize there is no future, you stop waiting for your good and start experiencing it now. When you understand that there is no tomorrow, you stop postponing your fulfillment and start claiming it in the eternal present. But let me address what might be the most challenging aspect of this teaching. If there is no future, what about goals, dreams, and aspirations? How do you create positive change without planning for the future? The answer is profound. You don't plan for the future. You plan in the eternal now. You don't set goals for tomorrow. You align with your desires in the present moment. You don't work toward future achievement. You embody present moment fulfillment. Every goal you think you're working toward exists right now in the dimension of consciousness. Every dream you think you're moving toward is available right now in the realm of imagination. Every aspiration you think you're building toward can be experienced right now in the eternal present. I remember a businessman who wanted to expand his company but was constantly frustrated by the slow pace of progress. He said, "Neville, I have all these plans for the future of my business, but everything takes so long. When will I finally achieve the success I'm working toward?" I said to him, "You will never achieve success because success is not a future destination. It's a present moment experience. You can be successful right now by feeling successful right now. You can have the expanded business right now by experiencing the expanded business in your consciousness right now." "But my business is still small," he said. "Your business is small in one dimension of now," I replied, "and large in another dimension of now. Both realities exist in the present moment. The question is which reality you choose to inhabit with your attention and assumption." This man learned to run his business from the consciousness of already being successful rather than trying to become successful in some future. He made decisions from the feeling of expansion rather than the feeling of limitation. He treated his current small business as if it were already the large business he desired. The expansion happened so naturally and quickly that it felt like remembering rather than achieving. Opportunities appeared, resources manifested, growth occurred, not because the future had finally arrived, but because he had learned to live in the present moment dimension where his success already existed. Now you might be wondering, if there is no future, what about hope? What about anticipation? What about looking forward to good things? Here's the beautiful truth. When you realize there is no future, hope becomes certainty. When you understand that everything exists in the eternal now, anticipation becomes immediate experience. When you know that there is no tomorrow, looking forward becomes living now. Hope is the feeling you have when you believe your good exists in some future time. But when you realize there is no future, you discover that your good exists right now in the dimension of consciousness. Hope transforms into knowing. Anticipation becomes experience. Looking forward becomes being present. Let me tell you about a mother who was hoping for her son's recovery from addiction. She said, "Neville, I hope someday he'll get clean. I look forward to the day when our family is whole again. I anticipate the future when this nightmare is over." I said to her, "There is no someday for his recovery. There is only now. There is no future day when your family will be whole. There is only this eternal moment. There is no tomorrow when the nightmare will be over. There is only the present moment choice to live in the dream of wholeness." I taught this mother that her son's recovery was not a future event, but a present reality in the dimension of consciousness, where all healing exists. Her family's wholeness was not a tomorrow experience, but a now possibility. The end of the nightmare was not a future occurrence, but a present moment choice to live in love rather than fear. She learned to experience her son as already healed in the eternal now. She felt the reality of family wholeness in the present moment. She lived from the consciousness of recovery rather than the consciousness of addiction. 6 months later, her son entered treatment voluntarily and achieved lasting sobriety. Not because the future had finally arrived, but because she had learned to live so consistently in the now of healing that physical reality reflected her inner experience. This is what happens when you truly understand that there is no future. You stop waiting for your life to begin and start living it now. You stop postponing happiness until conditions change and start choosing happiness in present circumstances. You stop believing that your good is coming someday and start knowing that your good is here now. So tonight I want you to conduct a great experiment. For the next week, live as if there is no future, not irresponsibly, but consciously. When you catch yourself worrying about tomorrow, return to experiencing now. When you find yourself postponing happiness until some future condition, choose happiness in present circumstances. Stop waiting for your life to get better in some imaginary future and start making it better in the real present. Stop believing your good is coming someday and start knowing your good is here now. Stop planning for happiness and start being happy. Discover what happens when you stop trying to live in a time that doesn't exist and start fully inhabiting the time that is the only time there is, the moment of now. You will find that without a future to worry about, anxiety disappears. Without a tomorrow to postpone happiness until, joy becomes immediate. Without a someday to wait for your good, fulfillment becomes present. There is no future because there is only now. There is no tomorrow because there is only today. There is no someday because there is only this day. The eternal day of present moment consciousness. Stop trying to get to a future that will never come and start living in the now that never leaves. Stop waiting for your life to begin in some tomorrow and start experiencing your life as it is right now. Eternal, perfect, and complete in every present moment. There is no future. There is only now. And now is all you need for every experience of joy, love, abundance, and fulfillment that you've been postponing until some imaginary later. The future is an illusion. The present is reality. Choose to live in reality. As always, thank you for joining me on this journey into the depths of consciousness. Remember, you are not here by accident. You are here because your soul is ready for this truth. Take these teachings and let them transform not just your mind, but your entire reality. Until we meet again in consciousness, keep assuming your greatness and living from the end of your desires. This is Best of Lectures. I will see you in the next video. Good evening, my friends. You know, I've been teaching this law for many years now. And in all that time, I've watched thousands of you come to these meetings, notebooks in hand, eager to learn the secrets of manifestation. And do you know what I see happening? You're making it so complicated, so unnecessarily difficult. You're buried under techniques, drowning in methods, paralyzed by rules you think you must follow perfectly, or everything will fail. And all the while the answer, the simple, beautiful, elegant answer, is staring you right in the face, but you can't see it, because you're too busy searching for something more complex. So tonight, I'm going to strip everything away, all the techniques, all the methods, all the elaborate practices, and I'm going to give you the raw truth, the one principle that makes everything else irrelevant. And I promise you, when you finally hear it, I mean really hear it, let it sink into your bones, you're going to laugh, because it's so simple, so obvious, so absurdly beautifully simple that you'll wonder how you ever missed it. Assume it's done. That's it. That is the law. Not a technique, not a method, not a formula. The law itself. Now, before you dismiss this as too simple, before you think, but wait, I already know that, let me ask you something. If you really knew it, if you truly understood it, would you still be here searching for the perfect technique? Would you still be asking me which method works fastest? would you still be worried about whether you're doing your visualizations correctly? No, you wouldn't. Because when you really grasp this, when it clicks so deeply that you can't unknow it, everything changes. Every technique becomes optional. Every method becomes flexible. Every rigid rule dissolves. You become free. But most of you aren't free yet. And tonight, I'm going to show you why. I'm going to show you the trap you've fallen into. The mistake that's keeping you from the simple, effortless manifestation that should be your natural state. And then I'm going to give you the key to walk out of that trap forever. So please, put down your notebooks for a moment. Stop trying to memorize. Stop analyzing. Just listen, because what I'm about to tell you could save you years, perhaps decades of unnecessary struggle. Let me show you where most of you are stuck right now. You come to these meetings searching for the perfect method, the right technique, the secret formula that will finally make everything work. And there's nothing wrong with that. I understand. We've all been there. But here's what you're missing. And please listen carefully, because this will save you years of unnecessary struggle. The technique is never the cause. Your consciousness is the cause. Your consciousness, your assumption is the only cause. Always. Now over the years I've taught you many techniques. The state akin to sleep, revision, the thankful heart, living in the end, mental diets. And some of you have taken these techniques and made them into rigid rules. You've turned them into superstitions. I have to loop exactly 3 times, Neville. It only works if I do it at bedtime, right? What if I use the wrong words? Will it still work? No. You've missed the point entirely. These techniques, SATs, revision, scripting, affirmations, all of them, they're just different doors into the same room. Think of it this way. Imagine a beautiful room. Inside that room is the state of your wish fulfilled. That's where your desire already exists, perfectly formed, waiting for you. Now there are many doors into this room. The SATs door, the revision door, the affirmation door, the scripting door, different doors. But they all lead to the exact same room. And they work when they work, because they successfully accomplish one thing and one thing only. They shift your assumption. That's it. That's the whole mechanism. SATs works not because there's magic in visualizing before sleep. It works because when done correctly, it shifts you into the state of the wish fulfilled. It gets you into that room. Revision works not because you're changing the past. You're not. The past is gone. Revision works because changing how you remember events changes your present assumption about yourself and your world. Affirmations work not because words have power in themselves. They work when and only when they shift your consciousness from the state of wanting to the state of having. Do you see? The technique is the vehicle. The assumption is the destination. And most of you, you're so fixated on the vehicle that you've forgotten where you're trying to go. Let me tell you what I see happening. And please, don't be offended. I'm telling you this because I care about your success. You come to these teachings and you collect techniques like someone collecting stamps. Oh, I know SATs. I know revision. I know mental diet. I know ladder technique. And then you use them desperately, anxiously hoping one of them will work. You do your SATs at night, but while you're doing it, you're thinking, please work. Please let this work. I need this to manifest. What if it doesn't work? Do you see what you're doing? You're using the technique, but you're not in the state. You're not assuming it's done. You're assuming it's not done and hoping the technique will make it done. And because assumption is the only reality, because what you assume must become fact, your assumption of it's not done is what manifests. Not the scene you're visualizing, the state you're actually occupying. Then when nothing happens, what do? You blame the technique. SATs doesn't work for me. Maybe I need something stronger. Maybe I need a different method. No, the technique didn't fail you. You failed to understand what the technique is for. The technique is not the power. You are the power. Your consciousness is the power. Your assumption is the creative force. The technique is just a tool to help you shift your assumption. But if you're using the tool while maintaining the old assumption, the tool can't do anything for you. And then, oh, this breaks my heart when I see it. Then you become rigid, superstitious. You turn these simple practices into elaborate rituals. I must loop exactly 3 times. It only works at bedtime. I have to use these exact words. I have to be lying down. I can't move once I start. And on and on and on with the rules. You've taken a simple principle, assume it's done, and you've buried it under a mountain of superstition. Let me tell you something. I've manifested things while walking down the street, while sitting in a chair, while standing in line at the grocery store. Why? Because I understood that the technique doesn't matter. The state matters. If I can assume it's done, if I can feel it real, if I can occupy that state completely, it will manifest. Period. I don't need perfect conditions. I don't need the right time of day. I don't need to follow a rigid formula. I just need to assume it's done and mean it. And then there are those of you who technique hop. You try SATs for a week. Nothing happens, so you move to revision. You try revision for a few days. Nothing, so you switch to scripting. Scripting doesn't work fast enough, so you try affirmations. Affirmations feel ineffective, so you go back to SATs. But this time you add a new element you read about. Always searching. Always looking for something more powerful. Something that works faster. Something easier. And you know what the tragedy is? You already have everything you need. You don't need a more advanced technique. You don't need a secret method I haven't told you about yet. You need to stop searching for new doors and walk through the one in front of you. Because they all, every single one of them, lead to the same place. A shifted assumption. Pick one. Any one. Master it by understanding what it's actually doing. Shifting your assumption and you'll never need another. Now here's what saddens me most. In all your searching, in all your technique collecting, in all your rigid rule following and desperate trying, you miss the beautiful simplicity I've been pointing to all along. Assume it's done. That is the law. Not a technique. Not a method. The law itself. Consciousness is the only reality. What you are conscious of being, you are. What you assume to be true becomes true. That's it. That's the entire teaching. Everything else, every technique, every method, every practice I've ever shared is just a different way of helping you do one thing. Shift your assumption from I want it to I have it. From hoping to knowing. From desiring to possessing. From wanting to being. When you truly understand this, when it clicks so deeply that you can't unknow it, everything changes. You stop being enslaved by techniques. You stop worrying about doing them perfectly. You stop searching for the right one, because you finally understand the technique doesn't create. Consciousness creates, and you are consciousness. Let me tell you what happens when this understanding really takes hold. You become free, completely free, free from rigidity. You're no longer bound by rules about exactly how the technique must be performed. You understand that the form doesn't matter, the assumption matters. So you can do your imaginal act sitting in a chair if you want. You can visualize while walking. You can impress your subconscious at noon instead of bedtime. You can loop once or 10 times or not loop at all. Why? Because you know it's not the technique that's creating. It's your assumption. And you can shift your assumption anywhere, anytime, however works best for you in that moment. Free from superstition. You're no longer afraid that missing a night of practice will ruin everything. You're no longer worried that you didn't use the exact right words. You know that consciousness is the only reality. And as long as you're maintaining the assumption of the wish fulfilled, as long as you're in that state, manifestation is inevitable. The particular vehicle you use to get into that state doesn't matter. Free from dependency on methods. This is the big one. When you truly understand that assumption is the law, you realize you don't actually need techniques at all. Oh, they're helpful. They're useful. They make the process easier, especially when you're learning. But you're not dependent on them. You're not helpless without them, because you can shift your assumption right now. This instant, without closing your eyes, without lying down, without any formal practice at all. How? By simply deciding it's done. I accept it as done in consciousness right now. And if you can truly make that assumption, if you can embody that state fully, it will manifest. Guaranteed. The technique was never necessary. It was just training wheels. And now you can ride the bike on your own. And here's how you know when you've really grasped this. You stop asking which technique should I use? Which one is most powerful? Which one will work fastest? And you start asking, what am I assuming right now? And is that assumption aligned with my desire? That shift in question changes everything, because now you're focused on the right thing. Not the method, the state, not the vehicle, the destination, not the technique, the consciousness. You're checking your assumption throughout the day. Am I assuming I have it, or am I assuming I want it? Am I in the state of the wish fulfilled, or am I in the state of hoping it will be fulfilled? And when you catch yourself in the wrong assumption, you don't panic. You don't think, oh no, I'm ruining everything. You just shift, gently, naturally. Oh, I was assuming lack. Let me return to the assumption of having, and you do, and you continue, and the manifestation continues forming. This is mastery, not using the perfect technique, but maintaining the perfect assumption. Now, some of you are still thinking, but I want to learn more advanced techniques. I want the secret methods you haven't shared yet, and I'm telling you as plainly as I can, you don't need more advanced methods. You need a deeper understanding of the one law behind all methods. There is no secret technique I'm holding back. There's no advanced formula that will suddenly make everything easy. There's only this. Consciousness is the only reality, and assumptions harden into facts. Assume it's done. That's the law. That's the whole law. That's the only law. Grasp that principle, really grasp it, deep in your being, and every technique becomes yours to use or not use with full confidence and conviction. You can use SATs if you like. It works beautifully when you understand what it's actually doing. You can use revision if that resonates with you. It's a powerful tool for shifting assumptions about your past and therefore your present. You can affirm, you can script, you can visualize, you can live in the end. Or you can do none of them, because you understand that the technique is not the power. You are the power. The method doesn't create. Your assumption creates. And the instant you assume it's done, truly assume it, not hope it, not want it, but know it's done in consciousness. In that instant, it begins to harden into fact in your world. Here's how you'll know if you've really understood tonight's message. Tomorrow, when you wake up, you won't immediately think, what technique should I do today? How many times should I loop my scene? What's the best method for this desire? Instead, you'll ask yourself, what am I assuming about this situation? Am I assuming it's done, or am I assuming it's still pending? And if you're assuming it's pending, you'll shift. Right there. No technique required. You'll just change your assumption. It's done. I accept it as finished in consciousness. And you'll feel the shift, the relief, the certainty, the peace of knowing. And you'll move through your day from that assumption, not from a technique you performed, but from a state you're occupying. That's when you'll know. You've got it. You've understood. You've moved beyond techniques to the principle behind them all. So this is my gift to you tonight. This understanding. Use the techniques if they help you. I've given them to you because they work. They're effective tools for shifting consciousness. But don't worship them. Don't become enslaved by them. Don't think they're the power. You are the power. Your consciousness is the creative force of your entire world. And all you have to do, the only thing you've ever had to do, is assume your desire is fulfilled. Not hope it will be fulfilled. Not work toward it being fulfilled. Not try to make it be fulfilled. Assume it is fulfilled. Now, already, done. That's it. That's the law. Everything else I've ever taught you is just different ways of helping you do that one simple thing. So tonight when you go home, you can do your SATs if you like. Or you can revise your day. Or you can write in your journal from the end. Or you can repeat your affirmation. But while you're doing it, remember the technique is not creating your reality. Your assumption is, and if you can assume it's done, if you can really feel it done, know it's done, accept it as done in consciousness. You don't need the technique at all. You're already in the state. You're already in that room. The door you came through doesn't matter anymore. What matters is that you're there, in the state of the wish fulfilled. And from that state, manifestation is not a maybe. It's not a hope. It's not a wish. It's a law. Assume it's done. That is the law. Thank you, and good evening. As always, thank you for joining me on this journey into the depths of consciousness. Remember, you are not here by accident. You are here because your soul is ready for this truth. Take these teachings and let them transform not just your mind, but your entire reality. Until we meet again in consciousness, keep assuming your greatness and living from the end of your desires. This is Best of Lectures, and I'll see you in the next video.
What a world. doubts fade away, and your imagination focus on truly believe if it's growing. Don't subconscious mind is far more powerful than your logic. It may take weeks. The speed depends. If you believe in abundance,
You are God. I'm not saying this in a metaphorical or spiritual sense. I'm saying this in a literal and factual sense. You are God, and you have the power to create anything you want in life with the power of your mind. Neville Goddard, a visionary philosopher, dared to unveil the profound power of assumption, revealing how by consistently believing we already possess our desires, we can orchestrate the events of our lives. While Neville Goddard's teachings on the law of assumption are often associated with the law of attraction, he actually saw them as two distinct concepts. He believed that the law of attraction, which states that we attract what we focus on, was an incomplete understanding of the power of our minds. According to Goddard, it's not enough to simply focus on positive thoughts and affirmations. We must also change our deep-seated assumptions about ourselves and our reality. This is where the law of assumption comes in. According to Neville Goddard, the law of assumption is the only law that governs the manifestation of your desires. He said that the law of attraction is secondary and that it only works when it is aligned with the law of assumption. He said that the law of attraction is the effect and the law of assumption is the cause. But how do you assume that you already have your desire when your current reality seems to contradict it? Keep on watching, because I'm about to reveal the secret of how to actually do that. First, I'm going to show you how the law of assumption works. The law of assumption works by using the power of your imagination and your feeling to impress your subconscious mind with your new reality. Your subconscious mind is the creative power that manifests everything in your life according to your dominant beliefs and assumptions. Your subconscious mind does not reason, judge, or question. It simply accepts whatever you impress upon it as true and reflects it back to you in your outer world. Therefore, if you want to change your outer world, you have to change your inner world. And the way to do that is to assume the feeling of your wish being fulfilled. To assume the feeling of your wish being fulfilled, you have to imagine that you already have your desire and feel the emotions that come with it. You have to act as if it is already done, not as if it is going to be done. You have to live in the end, not in the means. Jim Carrey, a famous actor and comedian, did exactly this. When he was struggling to make a name for himself in Hollywood, wrote himself a check for $10 million and dated it Thanksgiving 1995. He carried the check in his wallet and looked at it every day, imagining that he had already received it for his acting services. He acted as if he was already a successful and wealthy actor and lived in the end result of his desire. In 1994, he got his breakthrough role in the movie Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, which was a huge hit and launched his career. In 1995, he was offered $10 million to star in the movie Dumb and Dumber, which was released in December of that year. He achieved his goal of earning $10 million by Thanksgiving 1995, just as he had written on his check. By following examples like this, you create a new state of consciousness, a new vibration, a new reality. And by the law of assumption, your new reality must manifest in your physical world because it is already true in your consciousness. To make this easier for you, here are 3 simple steps that you can follow to apply the law of assumption and manifest your desire fast. The first step is to choose your desire. What do you want to manifest? Carefully select your deepest desire. What is it that you yearn to bring into manifestation? The possibilities are boundless, whether it's a salary increase, an upgraded living space, finding at last your true love, overcoming health challenges, unlocking new levels of success and happiness, or just anything else that you desire, it can become yours. The only limit is your imagination. But make sure that your desire is something that you really want, not something you think you should want, or something that others want for you. Your desire should be something that makes you feel excited, passionate, and joyful. Once you have chosen your desire, write it down in a clear and positive way. For example, if you want to manifest more money, you can write something like, "I am wealthy and abundant. I have more than enough money to live the life of my dreams." Or if you want to manifest a loving relationship, you can write something like, "I am in a happy and harmonious relationship with my soulmate. We love and respect each other deeply." The second step is to assume the feeling of your wish being fulfilled. This is the most important and powerful step because it's the one that activates the law of assumption and impresses your subconscious mind with your new reality. To assume the feeling of your wish being fulfilled, you have to imagine that you already have your desire and feel the emotions that come with it. There are many ways to do this, but one of the most effective ones is to use a technique called the "I remember when" method. This technique was also taught by Neville Goddard, and it consists of remembering a time when you didn't have your desire and contrasting it with the present moment when you do have it. For example, if you want to manifest more money, you can say to yourself, "I remember when I was struggling to pay my bills, and now I have more than enough money to live the life of my dreams." Or, if you want to manifest a loving relationship, you can say to yourself, "I remember when I was lonely and single, and now I'm in a happy and harmonious relationship with my soulmate." The key is to say these statements with conviction and feeling as if they were true right now. Don't say them as a wish or a hope, but as a fact. Feel the gratitude, the joy, the relief, the confidence, the love that comes with having your desire. Feel it in your body, in your heart, in your soul. Feel it as if it were real, because it is real. You are creating it with your imagination and your feelings. The third and final step is to persist in your assumption. This means you have to maintain the feeling of your wish being fulfilled and act as if you already have your desire until it manifests in your physical reality. Don't let doubt, fear, or negative thoughts interfere with your assumption. Don't look for signs, evidence, or validation from the outside. Don't worry about how, when, or where your desire will manifest. Just trust that it will, because it has to. The law of assumption is a law, not a theory. It works for everyone all the time, without exception. Whatever you assume to be true with conviction and feeling will become true and your reality. It's as simple as that. But you have to be consistent and persistent in your assumption. You have to live from the end and not from the middle. You have to act as if you already have your desire and not as if you're waiting for it. This may seem challenging at first, especially if your current reality seems to contradict your desire. But remember, your current reality is only a reflection of your past assumptions. It has nothing to do with your present or future assumptions. You can change your reality by changing your assumptions, and you can do it right now by following the 3 simple steps we just talked about. To make this even more effective and powerful, keep the following in mind. Ignore your current reality. Don't let the external circumstances or evidence contradict your assumption. Remember that your imagination is the only true reality, and that your current situation is only a reflection of your past thoughts. Focus on your desired state and act as if it is already yours. Say yes to everything. Don't argue with or resist anything that happens in your life. Instead, accept everything as a part of your manifestation process. Say yes to whatever comes your way and trust that it is leading you to your desired outcome. Always return to your assumption. Whenever you feel doubtful or fearful, remind yourself of your assumption and the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Repeat your affirmations, visualize your desired scene, or listen to subliminal messages that support your assumption. Don't let negative emotions take over your mind. Proclaim affirmations. Affirmations are positive statements that you repeat to yourself to reinforce your belief and confidence. You can use affirmations to overcome your doubts and fears and to affirm your desired state. For example, you can say, "I am confident and fearless. I am worthy and deserving of my desire," or "I am living my wish fulfilled." Embrace your fears and doubts. Sometimes the best way to overcome your fears and doubts is to face them head-on. Instead of avoiding or suppressing them, acknowledge them and let them go. You can do this by writing them down, talking to someone, or doing a meditation or a clearing process. By releasing your fears and doubts, you can make room for more positive and empowering thoughts. If you follow these guidelines, you will realize your dreams, choose your desire, assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, and persist in your assumption. Watch as your life transforms before your eyes. You are the creator of your reality, and you can create anything you want with the power of your mind. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to like and subscribe to get notified about more content like this.
How deeply our beliefs and thoughts influence reality. This phenomenon occurs through 2 mechanisms. Internally, thoughts are shaped by beliefs ingrained early in life, such as ideas about money, worthiness, or trust. These beliefs generate thoughts, which in turn evoke emotions. For example, concerns about failure or inadequacy can elicit stress, anxiety, or even paralysis. These emotions affect actions, and ultimately, the results we achieve, or fail to achieve, reinforce those initial beliefs. Externally, thoughts operate within a vibrational framework. Our brains generate electrical impulses when we think, transmitting these signals throughout our bodies. This constant flow of vibrations creates a resonance that interacts with the world around us. For instance, if you frequently worry about financial insecurity, unexpected expenses or financial obstacles are likely to appear. These events validate your fears, strengthening the belief that money is perpetually scarce. However, this loop can be disrupted by cultivating awareness of your thoughts and consciously shifting your mindset. Behavioral psychology supports this by illustrating how beliefs influence thoughts, which then generate emotions, drive actions, and ultimately shape results. On a more profound level, the law of attraction functions through vibration and resonance. Thoughts stimulate neurosynaptic pathways in the brain, producing electrical signals that create emotional responses. These emotions contribute to the energy you project, shaping the reality you experience. The quantum mechanical view of reality reveals that what seems solid is primarily empty space. Atoms consist of a dense nucleus surrounded by electrons, separated by vast distances. This indicates that our world is fundamentally an energetic matrix rather than a purely physical construct. Understanding this shifts how we perceive reality. Our senses, sight, touch, hearing, smell, and taste, serve as tools to interpret energy. They create the impression of a tangible world, yet what we perceive is actually the interpretation of vibrational waves. Recognizing this helps us understand how our thoughts, beliefs, and emotions interact with this energetic field to shape our experiences. This realization is critical because it demonstrates that reality is not fixed. The experiences you attract are shaped by the beliefs and vibrations you emit. When you focus on negative thoughts, you send out vibrations that draw similar energies into your life. On the other hand, positive and empowering beliefs can align you with opportunities and outcomes that reflect your desires. The next step is to address why your reality might not change, even when you believe you understand the law of attraction. Understanding the law of attraction isn't enough if you are unaware of the unconscious patterns holding you back. Most people are unaware of how their thoughts operate at this deeper level. To create transformation in your life, whether it's financial success, improved health, or fulfilling relationships, you must become conscious of the beliefs creating resistance to your desires. So how do you identify these hidden blocks? Begin by observing your emotional reactions. Every time you feel discomfort, anxiety, or frustration, you are encountering resistance. For instance, if you feel stressed about money, your thoughts might include beliefs like, "I don't have enough," or "I'll never get ahead." These beliefs are not reflections of reality. They are the creators of it. By transforming these limiting beliefs, you can alter the reality they produce. This process revolves around understanding two fundamental states of being, powerful and primal. Powerful states like joy, curiosity, and peace bring a sense of well-being. Primal states such as anger, anxiety, and overwhelm create discomfort. At any moment, you exist in one of these states, but never both at once. The state you experience is shaped by the thoughts you associate with your experiences, rather than the experiences themselves. To identify the beliefs influencing your reality, focus on moments when you feel triggered or experience negativity. These emotions indicate internal resistance. For instance, if a relationship isn't unfolding as you'd hoped, pay attention to the thoughts that surface when you're upset. These thoughts reflect the beliefs that need to change to improve that relationship. Similarly, financial challenges often arise from scarcity-based or fear-driven thinking. Replacing these limiting beliefs with empowering ones is key to transforming your financial circumstances. Even if you maintain a positive attitude and practice affirmations, these surface-level actions won't create lasting change without addressing the underlying beliefs. Transformation requires diving into the unconscious mind and identifying the resistance preventing you from achieving what you desire. To achieve consistent results, I discovered a simple formula that changed everything for me. Desire plus non-resistance equals the desired result. This concept revolutionized my understanding of success and allowed me to manifest my goals no matter how ambitious they seemed. Historically, many of us were taught flawed equations for success. Ideas like desire plus hard work equals results or desire plus resources equals results are rooted in outdated thinking. These approaches often lead to frustration because they overlook the role of resistance. The truth is, if resistance exists, whether in the form of doubts, fears, or limiting beliefs, it will hinder your ability to manifest your desires. Resistance comes from unresolved thoughts or beliefs, often formed early in life. For instance, if you dream of financial prosperity, but harbor subconscious beliefs that money is hard to earn, or that wealth is reserved for others, this resistance will block you from achieving your goal. Recognizing and releasing these blocks is essential for success. Imagine a sculptor working on a masterpiece. They don't create perfection by adding more clay, but removing what doesn't belong. Similarly, your role isn't to figure out how to add success to your life, it's to eliminate the resistance that blocks it. Pay attention to your negative reactions to life's circumstances. These moments highlight where resistance resides. The beauty of this process is that your desires are already set in motion. The universe, or the system you're operating within, has received your intentions. There's no need to keep asking for what you want. Instead, focus on clearing resistance and remaining open to the opportunities, ideas, and inspirations that naturally flow to you. When you align with this principle, you'll find that achieving your goals becomes predictable and consistent, regardless of your past struggles or circumstances. By practicing non-resistance, you can bridge the gap between where you are and where you want to be, whether in your relationships, health, career, or personal growth.
You are not just a physical being living in a physical world. You are made up of energy and exist in a universe where everything is vibrating energy. You have the ability to send and receive energy. One of the biggest challenges for you is understanding how to live as an energy being in a world where everything is made up of energy. Every word you speak and every action you take, from the simplest tasks like breathing, walking and eating, to the complexities of your emotions and thoughts, requires energy. These emotions and thoughts, whether positive or negative, carry their own energetic vibrations that can shape your experiences and have an impact on the world around you. And through the mastery of your vibrations, you can unlock a world of endless potential. Think of yourself as a transmitter of energy. All the time, you are sending out signals that tell the universe about yourself. These signals can either attract or repel other energetic beings, events, and experiences. If your energetic self radiates anger and frustration, your physical reality will reflect that as well. Naturally, you draw toward things that align with how you feel and who you are. If you emit an energy of wealth and abundance, your life will reflect that by bringing more wealth and abundance into your physical reality. Similarly, if you radiate negative or discordant energy, you are likely to repel experiences that don't match your state of being. Once you understand that your vibrational self attracts similar things, it becomes evident that if you desire a different experience in your life, you need to change the signals you are emitting. In other words, if you want to attract different circumstances or outcomes, you must adjust your thoughts, emotions, and overall energy to align with what you wish to experience. By consciously changing the signals you send out, you can create a shift in the patterns and experiences that come into your life. You are so much more powerful than you ever imagined. By understanding how to transmit the vibrations of your desired life, you can fundamentally change the way you experience the world and become aligned with your ideal life. Indeed, your thoughts are not just random mental processes. They carry energy and vibrations. Each thought you generate sets off a specific frequency of vibration in the neurons of your brain. This energetic activity creates a powerful force that aligns with and draws corresponding experiences towards you. In essence, the energy and vibrations emitted by your thoughts act as magnets, attracting and manifesting the essence of what you focus on. By understanding this principle, you can consciously direct your thoughts towards the outcomes you desire, harnessing the power of your thoughts to shape your reality. Your thoughts are the building blocks of your reality. There is a saying, watch your thoughts, they become words. Watch your words, they become actions. Watch your actions, they become habits. Watch your habits, they become character. Watch your character, it becomes your destiny. Your thoughts are the seeds that manifest your future. It's important to be mindful of how you allocate your energy because it follows your attention. Ultimately, it is up to you to decide where to direct your energy. You have the freedom to choose, and even the act of making a decision requires energy. Albert Einstein once said, "Everything is energy." In fact, even watching this video requires energy. The energy we focus on ultimately shapes our reality. You possess the power to guide and manage this energy, determining where to concentrate it and how to utilize it. By doing so, you can effectively channel your energy towards your goals and aspirations. It's important to recognize that you have the power to control your energy. When you're feeling down, you can redirect your attention to something that lifts your spirits. You can also influence your energy by spending time with positive people, engaging in activities that bring you joy, and surrounding yourself with uplifting messages. Taking steps to protect your energy is also crucial, such as setting boundaries, avoiding negative situations and relationships, and practicing self-care. The universe aligns in your favor, bringing you everything that resonates with your energy. Trusting and having faith in the power of energy can create remarkable transformations in your life. By placing trust in energy, you recognize your own deservingness to receive and the capacity to generously give to others. Start perceiving that there is more to life than what is apparent, and that a greater force is at play. Become connected to something vast, something that possesses boundless knowledge, understanding, and love. Trusting in energy brings about remarkable changes in your well-being. Your energy aligns, your cells rejuvenate, and your overall health improves. Feelings of despair, confusion, and disappointment fade away, replaced by a sense of serenity, balance, and lightness. Your energy becomes clear, pure, and flows smoothly like a mountain stream. You embrace your worthiness and deservingness, and joy becomes a constant presence in your life. Wisdom and inner peace enrich your being, and clarity pervades your thoughts. This is the profound impact of energy, and when you place your trust in it, everything effortlessly falls into place. When you trust in the universe and have faith in your own abilities, your energy becomes both powerful and serene. Wisdom and tranquility emerge from within. Your thoughts transform into beliefs, and your dreams start to materialize in your reality. By believing in your aspirations and taking concrete steps towards them, you have the ability to create significant transformations in your life and accomplish everything you yearn for. Have faith in yourself and in the universe's guidance to lead you towards your purpose, and you will uncover your true mission in this world. Close your eyes and connect with your inner self, feeling the energy coursing through you. Feel the love, the strength, and the brightness. You are energy with the ability to create your reality and realize your aspirations. You are capable, worthy, and adored. Believe in yourself and the universe, and watch the magic develop in your life. To transform your thoughts into beliefs, it is crucial to actively practice the act of believing. By placing faith in the universe's ability to provide for your needs, acknowledging your potential desires and dreams, and embracing your deservingness of love and happiness, you can cultivate deep peace and joy. Remember, you are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. Let your vibrations echo throughout eternity, and may your journey be one of endless discovery, growth, and transformation. The universe eagerly awaits your harmonious vibrations, ready to co-create a reality beyond your wildest dreams. By consciously choosing and aligning your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs with the desired vibration, you can attract and manifest corresponding experiences into your life. If you're still here, I would greatly appreciate your support through sharing and commenting. it would mean the world to me. Thank you for taking the time. I hope you have an absolutely beautiful day.
What if I told you that the only thing standing between you and your desires is not money, not connections, not luck, but simply a feeling? What if I could prove to you that every single limitation in your life is nothing more than a feeling you've been carrying? Stay with me, because in this video, I'm going to reveal the one secret that has transformed more lives than any other principle known to man. And by the end of this, you'll never look at your life the same way again. Tonight, I will teach you how to feel it real. I will show you the simple, divine secret behind every miracle, every manifestation, every transformation that has ever taken place in the life of man. This is not theory. This is not philosophy. This is the very mechanism by which reality operates. You do not need more power. The power is already within you. You do not need more time. Time is only the servant of your inner conviction. You do not even need to know how it will come to pass, for the bridge of incidents will form itself the moment you feel it as real. What you need is to feel it. Feel what? The wish fulfilled. Most men and women pray, they hope, they beg, they wait, they attend seminars, read books, try technique after technique, but few ever feel. And here's what I want you to understand. To feel is to become. To feel is to fuse your inner world with the outer one. The outer responds to the inner, and the inner is ruled by feeling. The nature of God is this. God is not some faraway being in the sky, sitting on a throne, judging your worthiness. God is your own wonderful human imagination. When you learn how to feel something as though it were already so, you awaken God within, and God responds to his own nature. God creates by imagining, and when he imagines lovingly, he creates life, beauty, abundance, joy. So must you. You are not separate from the Creator. You are the Creator, asleep to your own power. But tonight I intend to awaken you. But before I go further, let me ask you this. How many times have you wished for something so desperately, prayed for it, visualized it, yet it never came? How many times have you wondered why some people seem to effortlessly attract what they want, while you struggle? Well, I'm about to show you exactly why that happened, and more importantly, how to make sure it never happens again. The answer will shock you. I have said it many times. The world is yourself pushed out. What you believe, what you accept as true, what you feel with conviction, that hardens into fact. The law is always working, always producing what you are in the depth of your soul. Listen carefully. You are not a victim of circumstances. You are not at the mercy of economy, politics, other people, or fate. You are the operant power in your own experience. Every single thing that has ever happened to you, you attracted through your state of consciousness. If your life is filled with lack, you are feeling lack. If your life overflows with blessings, you are feeling blessed. If you experience drama and conflict, you are in a state of drama and conflict. If you know peace and harmony, you are dwelling in peace and harmony. The world cannot help but mirror back to you the vibration, the state, the assumption you carry in your being. It has no choice in the matter. It is law. Every man and woman lives in a state. What is a state? A state is a collection of thoughts, feelings, and assumptions that create your inner atmosphere. You might be in the state of poverty or the state of abundance, the state of loneliness or the state of love, the state of sickness or the state of health. Whatever state you occupy most frequently becomes your dwelling place, and your dwelling place determines your experience. You don't have experiences and then develop feelings about them. You have feelings, and then you have experiences that match those feelings. This is why two people can go through the identical situation and have completely different experiences. One person loses their job and feels defeated, worried, anxious. Another person loses their job and feels excited, liberated, ready for something better. Guess which one finds a better opportunity quickly? Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds too simple.
This can't possibly work. If it were this easy, wouldn't everyone be doing it? But let me share with you several stories that will change your mind forever. These are real people, real situations, real transformations. And after you hear these, you'll understand why most people don't do this and why you will. A woman once came to me, desperate to be reunited with her estranged husband. They had been separated for over a year. She had tried everything: letters, phone calls, showing up at his workplace, pleading with his family. Nothing worked. In fact, the more she tried, the more he seemed to pull away. She was in a state of desperation, lack, and separation. Every action she took from that state only reinforced the separation she was trying to bridge. I said to her, "Do you still love him?" She said, "Yes, with all my heart." "Then assume he loves you too, and that you are already together." She looked at me as if I had asked her to climb Mount Everest blindfolded. "But how can I assume that when he won't even talk to me?" I told her, "The facts are not the truth. The facts are simply the reflection of your former state. You have been living in the state of separation, and so separation is what you see. If you want to see reunion, you must first become the woman who is already reunited. Tonight, before sleep, imagine him holding you, telling you he loves you, telling you he's sorry, planning your future together. Feel it as though it were happening now. Don't just see it. Live it. Breathe it. Feel every emotion you would feel if it were actually happening." She did it, though reluctantly at first. Every night, she would lie in bed and enter that scene. She felt his arms around her. She heard his voice saying, "I love you. I'm sorry. Let's make this work." She felt the relief, the joy, the gratitude of being back together. Within a week, she began to feel different. She stopped calling him, stopped trying to force contact. She felt peaceful, confident, loved. And in that new state, something remarkable happened. The next week, he called her, not to argue, not to discuss logistics, but to say he missed her. By the end of the month, they were back together, and they've been happily married ever since. What changed? Not him. Her feeling changed. She moved into a new state, and the world, including him, had no choice but to mirror it. Another man came to me longing for a better job. He had been in the same position for 8 years, watching others get promoted while he remained overlooked. He felt unworthy, stuck, invisible. But here's what he didn't realize. He was living in the state of being overlooked. Every day, he went to work feeling overlooked, expecting to be overlooked, and sure enough, he was overlooked. His feeling was creating his experience. I said, "You are not stuck. You are only stuck in your feeling. The moment you change your feeling, your world must change." I instructed him to construct a scene that would imply his desire had already been fulfilled. He imagined shaking the hand of a new employer, hearing the words, "You're hired," and feeling the pride and excitement of a significant promotion with double the salary. But here's the key. I told him not to just imagine it once or twice. I told him to live in that scene every night before sleep until it felt more real than his current circumstances. Every night, he entered that scene. He felt the firm handshake. He heard the congratulations. He felt the weight of responsibility and the thrill of new challenges. He imagined telling his wife the good news, planning what they would do with the extra income, feeling proud and accomplished. After 2 weeks of this, something shifted in him. He began to carry himself differently at work. He spoke with more confidence. He took on additional responsibilities without being asked. He was no longer the man waiting to be promoted. He had become the man who was already promoted. Within a month, his current company offered him a significant promotion. But even more remarkably, a company he had never even contacted, a company he had only heard about through a friend of a friend, reached out to him with an offer for exactly the position he had been imagining, at exactly the salary he had been feeling. What changed? Not the word. His feeling changed. He stopped being the man who waited and became the man who had. But here's where most people make a critical mistake that keeps them stuck in the same old patterns forever. They do this one thing wrong, and it sabotages everything. It's so subtle that they don't even realize they're doing it. And once I tell you what it is, you'll probably recognize that you've been doing it too. The mistake is this. They feel the desire, not the fulfillment. They feel the wanting, not the having. They feel the lack, not the abundance. When they imagine their desire, they imagine it from the perspective of someone who doesn't have it yet. They feel excited about the possibility, hopeful that it might happen, desperate for it to come. But all of these feelings, excitement about possibility, hope for the future, desperation for change, are feelings of lack. And the law gives you more of what you feel. If you feel lack, you get more lack. If you feel wanting, you get more wanting. If you feel hoping it will come, you get more hoping, but not the actual fulfillment. You must feel from the end, not to the end. You must feel as though you already have what you desire, not as though you're trying to get it. Let me make this distinction crystal clear, because this is where most people get lost. If you desire wealth, most people imagine having wealth and feel excited about the possibility. But excitement about possibility is still a feeling of not having. Instead, you must imagine having wealth and feel the natural calm satisfaction of someone who has always been wealthy. If you desire love, most people imagine finding love and feel hopeful and eager. But hope and eagerness are feelings of lack. Instead, you must imagine being loved and feel the quiet confidence and contentment of someone who has always been loved. If you desire health, most people imagine getting healthy and feel relief and gratitude. But relief implies you were sick, and gratitude for future healing implies you're still sick now. Instead, you must imagine being healthy and feel the natural vitality and well-being of someone who has always been healthy. The feeling must be natural, easy, assumed, not excited, not grateful, not relieved, but natural, the way you feel about things you take for granted. Now, what if you feel fear? What if you feel doubt? What if negative thoughts keep creeping in and sabotaging your efforts? Here's exactly what you need to do. And it's not what most people think. Most people try to fight the negative feelings, but that actually makes them stronger. I'm going to show you a much more elegant solution. Do not resist negative feelings. Do not fight them. Do not try to push them away. Resistance gives them power. Instead, acknowledge them gently and then redirect. Feelings are not enemies. They are messengers. If you feel fear, it means you are imagining something you do not want. If you feel doubt, it means you are focusing on the current facts instead of the desired truth. So when fear or doubt arises, simply say, "Thank you for showing me what I'm imagining. Now I will imagine something different." Then gently withdraw your attention from the fearful scene and construct a new one. Enter the feeling of safety, of confidence, of calm, but don't try to force it. Let it be natural, easy. Here's a technique that works beautifully. Instead of trying to feel confident about your desire, feel confident about the law itself. Instead of trying to feel certain that your specific desire will manifest, feel certain that the law always works. This takes the pressure off your specific desire and puts your faith in the principle itself. And when you have faith in the principle, your desires manifest effortlessly. Remember, no feeling lasts unless you sustain it. Sustain only what you want. And if unwanted feelings arise, don't fight them. Simply choose again. Let me teach you about assumption, because this is the cornerstone of all creation. An assumption is something you accept as true without proof. Every day, you make thousands of assumptions. You assume the sun will rise tomorrow. You assume your car will start. You assume people understand you when you speak. These assumptions feel natural because you've never questioned them. And because you assume them naturally, they manifest effortlessly in your experience. The secret is to make the same natural assumptions about your desires. Assume your desire is already fulfilled. Assume it so naturally that you stop looking for evidence. Assume it so completely that you stop worrying about it. When you truly assume something, you don't think about it constantly. You don't check for signs. You don't worry about timing. You simply know it's true the way you know the sun will rise tomorrow. So here's your assignment. And this is where the magic really begins. I want you to do this one simple practice starting tonight. But I must warn you, this practice is so simple that most people will dismiss it. They'll think it's too easy to work. Don't make that mistake. The most powerful truths are always the simplest. Choose one desire, just one for now. Make it something specific and important to you, but not something that feels completely impossible. We want to build your faith gradually. Now create a scene that would imply your desire is already fulfilled. This scene should be short, no more than 10-15 seconds. It should be something that could only happen if your desire were already real. For example, if you want a specific job, imagine your first day at that job, shaking hands with your new colleagues. If you want a relationship, imagine lying in bed next to your ideal partner, hearing them say, "Good morning, beautiful." If you want financial abundance, imagine checking your bank balance and seeing the amount you desire. If you want health, imagine your doctor saying, "Your test results are perfect." The scene must imply fulfillment, not process. Don't imagine the interview. Imagine already having the job. Don't imagine the first date. Imagine already being in love. Don't imagine making money. Imagine already having money. Now here's how you practice. Every night before sleep, when your mind is naturally relaxed and receptive, enter the scene. Don't just visualize it. Inhabit it. Make it real in your imagination. Feel the emotions you would feel if it were actually happening. Hear the tones. Feel the textures. Smell the scents. Engage all your senses. Make it vivid and real. But most importantly, feel the naturalness of it. Don't feel excited or grateful or relieved. Feel natural, as though this is simply how your life is. Return to this scene night after night until it feels familiar, comfortable, natural. Sleep in that assumption. Let it be the last thing on your mind before you drift off. But the practice doesn't end when you wake up. Throughout the day, whenever you think about your desire, think from it, not to it. If someone asks about your situation, speak from the assumption that your desire is already fulfilled, not in a way that's dishonest or delusional, but in a way that's aligned with your inner knowing. For example, if you're manifesting a new job and someone asks how work is going, instead of complaining about your current situation, you might say, "Actually, things are really shifting for me. I'm excited about some new opportunities that are opening up." This isn't lying. It's speaking from the state of already having what you want. And when you speak from that state consistently, reality rushes to match your words. But here's the part that will either make or break your success with this technique. Most people miss this completely. And it's the difference between those who manifest quickly and those who struggle for years. It has to do with something called living in the end versus living in the bridge. Let me explain what this means and why it's absolutely crucial. Most people, when they start practicing this work, become obsessed with the how. They start looking for signs, trying to figure out the steps, planning the process. This is called living in the bridge. But you are not called to build the bridge of incidents. You are not supposed to figure out how your desire will manifest. Your job is simply to live in the end, to assume it's already done and let the universe figure out the how. When you live in the bridge, you're actually telling the universe that you don't trust it to handle the details. You're trying to control the process instead of controlling only your state. Here's what happens when you live in the bridge. You start to force things. You become pushy, desperate, controlling. You make decisions from fear instead of faith, and usually you end up pushing your desire further away. But when you live in the end, something magical happens. You relax, you trust, you let go of the need to control how it happens and focus only on knowing that it will happen. From this relaxed state, you make different choices. You speak differently, you act differently, and most importantly, you attract different circumstances and people who are aligned with your desired end. This brings us to one of the most misunderstood concepts in manifestation: detachment. Most people think detachment means not caring about your desire, but that's not it at all. True detachment means being unattached to the specific way your desire manifests. It means being open to receiving your desire in ways you never expected, from sources you never imagined, through circumstances you never planned. When you're attached to the how, you limit the universe to only the ways you can think of. But the universe is infinitely more creative than your conscious mind. It can orchestrate circumstances and coincidences that would never occur to you. So assume the end, but stay flexible about the means. Know that it's done, but stay open to how it's done. Let me tell you more about the bridge of incidents, because understanding this will give you tremendous faith and patience. The bridge of incidents is the series of events that leads you from your current state to your desired state. These events often seem random, unconnected, or even challenging, but in hindsight you'll see that each one was perfectly orchestrated to bring you to your desired end. For example, you might be manifesting a new relationship. The bridge of incidents might include running into an old friend who invites you to a party, getting stuck in traffic that makes you late to the party so you arrive at exactly the right time, spilling a drink on someone which starts a conversation, that person introducing you to their friend who becomes your ideal partner. None of these events would seem connected or meaningful as they're happening. The traffic jam would seem like an annoyance. Spilling the drink would seem like embarrassment. But in hindsight, you'll see that each event was essential to the final outcome. This is why you must not judge by appearances. This is why you must not get discouraged when things seem to go wrong. What looks like a detour might actually be the most direct path to your desire. Now I want to share with you the most powerful technique I know for maintaining your desired state, especially when circumstances seem to contradict what you're assuming. This technique alone has helped thousands of my students manifest seemingly impossible things. It's called the revision technique, and it's about to change everything for you. At the end of each day, before you go to sleep, mentally replay your day. But don't just remember what happened. Revise it to align with your desired state. If someone was rude to you, revise the memory so they were kind. If you felt poor during the day, revise those moments so you felt abundant. If you felt lonely, revise it so you felt loved and connected. This isn't about lying to yourself or denying reality. This is about taking control of the meaning you assign to events. This is about refusing to let the outer world dictate your inner state. When you revise your day, you're not changing the past. You're changing the impression those events made on your consciousness. And since your consciousness creates your future, changing these impressions literally changes what's coming. Make this a daily practice. Every night, revise your day to align with the person you're becoming. Feel how that person would have experienced each situation. This will accelerate your transformation dramatically. There's another practice I want to teach you, something I call taking the mental Sabbath. Just as your body needs rest, your mind needs rest from effort and striving. Once you've planted the seed of your desire through feeling, there comes a time to rest, a time to stop thinking about it, stop planning for it, stop looking for signs of it, a time to simply trust that the law is working. This mental rest is not indifference, it's confidence. It's the quiet knowing that what you felt in faith must come to pass. Most people never take this mental Sabbath. They plant the seed and then immediately dig it up to check if it's growing. They assume their desire and then spend all day worrying about when it will manifest. But the law works in the silence. It works when you're not watching. It works when you've forgotten about it because you've become so natural in your assumption that you no longer need to think about it. Learn to rest in your assumption. Learn to forget about your desire because you know it's already yours. But what about timing? This is the question I get asked more than any other. How long will it take? When will I see results? The answer might surprise you, and it has everything to do with something I call Sabbath time versus Caesar's time. Understanding this distinction will save you from months or even years of unnecessary waiting. There are two kinds of time, Caesar's time and Sabbath time. Caesar's time is chronological time, minutes, hours, days, years. Sabbath time is psychological time, the time it takes for your assumption to feel natural. Most people try to manifest in Caesar's time. They plant the seed today and expect to see the harvest tomorrow. But the law works in Sabbath time. It manifests when your assumption becomes natural, regardless of how much chronological time has passed. I've seen people manifest in days, and I've seen people take years. The difference isn't the size of their desire or their level of faith. The difference is how quickly they can make their new assumption feel natural. If you can assume something and immediately feel natural about it, it will manifest quickly. If it takes time for the assumption to feel natural, it will take more time to manifest. This is why it's often easier to manifest for others than for yourself. When you imagine good things for people you love, you don't have resistance. You don't have old beliefs to overcome. The assumption feels natural immediately. But when it's your own desire, you might have years of contrary evidence to overcome. You might have deep beliefs about your unworthiness or limitation. These beliefs make your new assumption feel unnatural, which slows down the manifestation. The key is patience with yourself and persistence in your assumption. Keep returning to the feeling of the wish fulfilled until it becomes your natural state. As you practice this work, you'll begin to notice signs that your assumption is working. These signs might be subtle at first: a relevant conversation, a meaningful coincidence, a shift in your own thoughts and feelings. Don't become obsessed with signs, but do acknowledge them with gratitude. They're evidence that the law is working, that your assumption is taking root in consciousness. Sometimes the signs come quickly, sometimes slowly. Sometimes they're obvious, sometimes subtle. The timing and nature of signs doesn't determine the timing of your manifestation. It's simply the universe's way of encouraging you to persist. Remember, the sign follows the assumption, not the other way around. Don't wait for a sign to believe. Believe first, through feeling, and the signs will follow. Before we finish, I want to address the biggest obstacle that stops most people from succeeding with this work. It's not what you think it is. It's not lack of faith. It's not negative thinking. It's not past trauma. It's something much more subtle, and once you recognize it, you'll be free of it forever. The biggest obstacle most people face is not believing they deserve what they want. Deep down, they don't feel worthy of their desires. And the law cannot give you what you don't feel worthy to receive. This is why you must not just assume your desire is fulfilled. You must assume you are the kind of person who naturally has such things. You must assume your worthiness along with your desire. If you're manifesting wealth, you must not just feel wealthy. You must feel worthy of wealth. If you're manifesting love, you must not just feel loved. You must feel lovable. If you're manifesting success, you must not just feel successful. You must feel deserving of success. Often, this means doing some inner work. It means forgiving yourself for past mistakes. It means releasing old stories about why you can't have what you want. It means choosing to see yourself as God sees you, perfect, whole, and worthy of every good thing. This inner work isn't separate from manifestation. It is manifestation. When you change how you see yourself, you change what you can receive. As you practice this work, you're not just manifesting things. You're manifesting a new identity. You're becoming the person who naturally has what you desire. This transformation happens gradually, day by day. As you return to the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you shed the old self and put on the new. You begin to think differently, speak differently, act differently. Others will notice the change before you do. They'll comment that something is different about you. You seem more confident, more peaceful, more magnetic. This is evidence that your inner work is taking effect in the outer world. Embrace this transformation. Don't cling to the old identity, even if it feels familiar. The old you couldn't have what you want. That's why you're changing. The new you can have anything, because the new you knows the secret. Feeling is the secret. Let me leave you with this one eternal truth that will change everything if you truly understand it. You are not learning how to get things. You are learning how to be things. You are not learning how to manipulate the world. You are learning how to transform yourself. When you transform yourself, when you change your inner state, the world must transform to match. It has no choice. It is law. Nothing is more powerful than your feeling, not circumstance, not logic, not the opinions of others, not your past, not your current situation. If you would only dare to feel your wish fulfilled, persist in it, surrender to it, embody it, then no force on earth could stop its manifestation. You are not here to beg from life. You are here to command it, not through effort or force, but through the silent authority of feeling. That feeling is your prayer, your seed, your creation. And when you honor it with belief, when you live from it as though it were already so, the universe must obey. It is not a matter of if, it is a matter of law. The world is yourself pushed out. Change yourself and you change your world. Feel differently and you experience differently. Assume a new state and enter a new reality. So feel it now. Feel it deeply. Choose one desire and feel it as already fulfilled. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't wait for better circumstances. Don't wait until you feel more worthy. Feel it now. And never forget, the world will always reflect what you dare to feel is real. The feeling is the secret. And now you know the secret. Your new life begins the moment you choose to feel it real. That moment can be right now. If this teaching has awakened something within you, I want you to do 3 things. First, like this video so others can find this truth. Second, subscribe and ring the bell, because I'll be sharing more advanced techniques in upcoming videos. And third, this is the most important. Tell me in the comments, what is the one thing you're going to start feeling as real tonight? Your commitment in writing will help anchor this truth in your consciousness. Remember, you have the power. You always have had the power. Tonight, you have learned to use it.